All right, happy Friday. Happy Friday. Good people. Good people. We just finished our review on Ready to Love, and now we are right back with the review of Love and Marriage Huntsville. For your relationship recap, I am one half of the conversation. The other half, of course, is my partner in crime, Scorpio Mo.
Cheers. Happy Friday, y'all. Welcome to the part two.
Part two, Love and Marriage Huntsville. Love and the Marriage Huntsville, which I said when I was looking at this, I'm gonna say I know people don't want to say that they don't miss Melody and Melody is not necessary, and I'm not gonna say that it's necessarily Melody that's missing, but what I am gonna say is something is awry. Something just don't feel right. I don't know if it's because we only see Martell talking to Destiny. He can't talk to the rest of the guys.
Oh, that's a real thing?
Well, I don't know if it's going to be forever, but I'm just saying, like, the fact that there's no interaction, you gotta admit, Melody and Martell were a big part of Love and Marriage Huntsville. They were the core couple, the principal couple. So the fact that Martell is talking to his mom and Destiny only, he's not being invited to talk to the guys at all. It just feels weird.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah.
It just doesn't, it's like you took the two principal people off and you kept Martell, but his scenes are extremely limited because he's not in any scenes with anybody besides Destiny and upcoming his mother.
So it's still not about Melody then, because he wasn't allowed to shoot with her.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that season was ridiculous because Melody, was obviously didn't want to be on the show. But I'm saying you took away both of them.
Both, I got you. Okay.
At this point, like, I don't want to see him talk to Destiny anymore. I don't want to see no more of those conversations. How far can we go with this? And I think, I know we're going to get into Tisha and Ken. I mean, Ken and Trish and Marques are taking up a big piece of they're shouldering a big piece of the storyline. To me, they're taking a bigger piece than even Tisha and Marsau or Maurice and Kimmie. Like, the biggest storyline this season is Ken and Trish, which seems a bit disjointed anyway. And I just feel like it feels weird. This is a season of them trying to gel. And I don't know where we're going with things as they are, with Martell being isolated, but eventually they're going to either have to let him leave the show or bring Ariel on and have some Arion on and have some type of healing or conversation between him and the guys.
So he's more like a featured person now.
Yeah. He doesn't, because he's not interacting with anybody. Not even the Fletchers are talking to him.
Yeah. Well, they talked to him at first.
Yeah, but they're not, he's not around anybody.
Well, that's the reason why they're trying to get us to, because he might be going out.
That's going to be rough because that could be, or he could be bringing Arion on the show, but who are they going to talk to? Because she's not going to be able to interact with the other ladies, because even though their Melody is gone and they probably don't like Melody that much, she still represents everything that's wrong in a marriage.
That's true. That's true. But I like to hear more from can I say, I'm kind of like it, Kimmie.
Okay. I know that you mentioned that you like Kimmie.
Yeah, I'm the more and more I see her and I talk her. And I think because we've seen her,
yes,
it felt like I seen her in a different, more relaxed life. Pardon me. Yeah. Okay. I just want to say that.
I know that's your type. That's your type.
I didn't think so at first. I thought she might have been a little bougie, but apparently not.
Apparently not. With the video and all.
That part.
Tammy says they will film with Arion just to spite Nell. I don't think so, because I think that Tisha for sure will not want to be a part of anything that is promoting cheating on husbands, cheating on wives, and welcoming the mistress. It just doesn't feel safe. It makes you feel very unsafe with your own marriage.
Plus, Nell don't want no more smoke. She don't.
Let's talk about Ken and Marques and the latest that happened. The last episode ended with Ken trying to beat up Marques.
Correct.
And I do believe that Ken can beat up Marques and everyone else on the show. But there's something going on with Ken, because Ken's friend, Will, I appreciate his honesty.
Yes. Did
you guys catch that in the scene where he's talking to Ken? He's like, well, first of all, he showed a flashback of him saying, I've seen you do this before. I've seen you take too much before. And then he just said, your man, your oil can slick, Chris Fletcher came over and with his Bronner brother curls. And Will said, I've seen you put up with too much before. And he said, and Ken started getting angry. He's like, well, the puzzle pieces, and maybe the only puzzle piece that's not supposed to be here is Marques. And Will said, nah, man, if it was me, Trish would have been a thing of the past a long time ago. And Chris nodded his head.
Yeah, he made a lot of sense as far as, he wants to figure it out. He doesn't want to fix it. And I don't know the brother, but he comes across as one of those dudes. He comes across as one of these guys. I don't know his story. I'm just thinking off the top. Like, he likes that. He might not have like that and worked out because of the women, the ladies.
Say that again?
He worked, how big he got and he worked out was because of the ladies. Yeah. And that was his thing. He probably wasn't that guy. Probably scrawny guy.
Jonathan Majors.
Yeah, and then he gets that way, and then he gets the girl that he wants, and I don't know if he thinks it's because of that, but he likes love. Like he doesn't mind being in a relationship. And here it is, and he was like, we don't have no problems. It's other than such and such. Marques.
Can I ask you a question just as a man? And Tammy, I have an answer for that. I'll give it to you in a minute. But has Ken forgotten that Trish went to Martell's and lied about it? Has he forgiven all of her? I'm just asking. Have all of her sins been forgiven? Because not only did Trish go with Martell, and last season that looked crazy, right? But then, what's up, Tamasha? He also had to watch the show just like you and I did, and he had to see Trish say she didn't want to get married. He had to hear Trish say that she wasn't ready to get married anytime soon.
Right.
He had to hear her say that she was going to have a hot girl summer.
Right.
And from what I saw in that video, her summer was hot.
Right. But her actions that?
Say it again?
That's what she said, but were those her actions? Like,
well, her actions is milking this as long as she can.
Right. And that comes with, let's say his love language is quality time and physical touch, right? Yes. And he's in the bind. I'm in the bind, Nate. He said he was paying for all that stuff. So she knows, I would think a woman like that would know if she played up to his love language, mm-hmm. because she's in a bind, she can win him back, and that'll keep him around. until she get her ducks in a row, whatever it is, until she can stall him out. In the meantime, she still got to live, right? She got them kids. I'm just saying.
That poor, I felt bad for, no, all jokes aside, I felt really bad for their son that had to come and try to break up his dad and Ken fighting. That was crazy.
What I peeped when they showed the clip was definitely didn't want nothing. He done jumped back. And he thought the security there was going to save him.
He did. And because he was definitely moving back. Y'all better. He was doing like Dr. Heavenly when Contessa was coming for her. But that's the thing, like, and then his son had to come. Then he yanked his stuff off from his son.
Hey, your son come out there, you can't run now. Your son seeing you run is not a good look.
Well, I don't think Ken cares as much about his children as he tries to make it seem. I think his ego and pride is hurt because his high school love has moved on. And
it happens.
He is not able to deal with that. He thought that he would always be able to come back and hit that and do whatever. And she has moved on. And he also may feel like because what he knows about Trish from the past, that he should have her in check, and she has moved. She is out of line and out of order. Trish is feeling herself and she's moved on. Now, I just don't understand why Ken, and I think his friend and Chris were trying to figure that out. Like, what are you doing, dude? Like, why are you dealing with a woman that, first of all, is still married? Now, Ken doesn't care about that. And I want to ask the chat. Let's do a question real quick. When it comes to marriage, right? Are more people of the mindset that the actual marriage does not matter? And it's just what the person says? Because the fact that she's been married for 7 years, and their timeline is wild as well. The timeline is just really doesn't add up. But are people more likely to say, well, I don't care because they're not together. I don't care about the actual marriage. Do you think that's more of, like, if you were in a situation and you met a young lady and she still was married? Because I know someone in this situation, and the person has been married. They don't know where the ex is. And the other person is like, well, I can't take you seriously unless you actually get that taken care of. But they also are still in a full-fledged relationship with the person.
Yeah, I think that people can make you feel like they're going to do it. It's tough. If you like a person or you fall. And you want to believe saying, and they are with you. So why would you think they wouldn't? It's a lot of people that get caught. A lot of people that get caught up in that. I mean, to the point they're the side person, but they move as if they're in the relationship. Like
that is what Ken is doing, because actually Maurice confronts him at the birthday party later and says, you know that you're the bad guy, right? She's married, and Ken is like, get out of here. No. And I'm like,
together.
That is his family.
Yeah, I would love to know this brother's background, because the way he says like that, it leads me to believe that he has some issue family. I don't know if he was something was going on for him to move like that. That's what
I think so too. And especially because Will said he's seen this happen with him before. People do not show up and do different things. Usually whatever their issues were have followed them because they haven't fixed themselves. And so Ken, how he is reacting in this situation is definitely a reflection of what Will says he's seen from his past. And you're right, Nola says a few men have told this to Ken at this point, but in fact, he gets angry at anyone who tells him that. So it's something that's stuck with him. Tammy, you are 100% right. I did that the first time, 30-day notice in the local paper. When nobody responds, you're divorced. You can get your divorce. So you can get your divorce. Don't people have to act like it's expensive? And I'm not saying divorce cannot be expensive when there's things involved, But when your spouse has run to Atlanta,
he ain't got nothing. It's gonna be easy.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't see why she just didn't file abandonment or something if she wanted to do that. I think she just does what she wants to do and she doesn't care. But it's just weird that Ken, because I think most men would want to be like, if I'm gonna invest all this into you, if I'm gonna be giving you money, if I'm gonna be providing a home, then because at the end of the day, if something happened to her, technically Marques has access to everything that's hers because they're still married.
Hey, as a man, sometimes when that soft leg tell you something, boy, you want to believe it, and you're gonna believe it. Especially if you're living together.
If you're living together, yeah. I don't know. I just wish people would. If you don't want to be with somebody, then get a divorce and let that person go forward with their lives. Don't hold them hostage. Figure out how to do it the right way.
But dig this: as long as if she prolongs it, she keeps her situation.
Yeah, I think she's prolonging it because she doesn't want to marry Ken.
That not because she don't want to be married to him, because like you said, she doesn't want to marry Ken.
At first, I thought there might have been something with Marques, but she don't respect him. Whenever a woman don't respect a man, it's over. But the problem is she don't want to hurry up and get married to Ken. And it's I would just say 9 times out of 10, whenever you marry somebody, right when you divorce somebody else, that is problematic because you haven't figured out what's wrong. You haven't worked through your issues, right? So Trish has never worked through her issues. She just jumped into the situation with Ken, probably jumped into a few more situations that we don't know about because I'm not convinced that her and Martell didn't have something going on.
Yeah,
I'm unconvinced.
I'm not convinced either.
And Ken she rubbed something soft on him and, he forgot. He has moved on like that never happened. I think he doesn't want to think about it this season, but Ken, we had all saw that last season. And we don't believe her.
Yeah, especially after you get that. They never explained to us how he got back in.
They never explained. He just rolled off he drove off furiously and they came back and they were like all made up. It's like, where did you go, sir?
Yeah, they owe us something like They
did us wrong last season. They just ended it and then they and then Martell did this crazy interview with this girl. Now, another thing I want to bring up, and I want to say, ladies, we can never be stupid enough to make this mistake. If you guys realize when they sat down with Miss Nell and Kimmie, I just like calling her that because I think she is absolutely adorable. Every time I see her, I look at her because of you. Yeah, she's so cute. She just is a cute little lady.
Today,
huh?
I tried. I couldn't.
Her makeup wasn't right. Her makeup wasn't right.
It was something. Yeah, I'm glad you said that. And I ain't like it with that dumbass hat.
The hat. But she's cute. I like Nell. But when Miss Nell asked about what did they think when they saw the video of Martell and the lady, and Kimmie said, I mean, if it was going to happen, I mean, not with that. Girl, that's a scary slope. That's a slippery slope. You can never say what your man won't do.
Thank you, but
never say it.
That's what I say about if you have a man and he likes. That's just like when y'all talk about well, why would a guy that don't got no money worry about a woman taking half, right? It's the people behind that you would, the character. Now, it's just like the girl with the big butt. And he doesn't get the girl with the big butt, but there's a thin woman that has no butt. You still think he don't want to hit that? He wouldn't hit that? Yes,
I learned a long time ago, you can never say what your man won't do for love. You can never say. Women will compare themselves. First of all, as Mo figured out, because we did a little research after we saw that video, the young lady did not look like that during the time period that she was allegedly involved with Marsau. Now, this is all allegedly, and we don't want to think that our good brother Marsau did that. But but what we're not going to say is that it could not have happened because of how she looks. That's what we're not going to do. Because number one, that was a few years ago, and we all know that time and calories can add up. Okay? Carbs and time are sometimes our worst enemies. And second of all, like he just said, women always assume, oh, I know what my man likes. No, you don't. Hey. No, you don't, lady. Say it with me. No, you don't. He will surprise you every time.
Let me tell you something. I done hit something before. Y'all be like, Mo, no, you didn't. I'll be like,
I've seen some of it.
Hey, easy.
Just saying. I remember seeing this girl that this guy, and he did just that. He was like, because I was like, but hey, that is something that works to men's advantages, because women are so vain. They always think that, oh, he wouldn't do that. Or they think, how could he want her when he had me? He got to want me back. Girl, not necessarily. You can never think. We are not men. We don't think like them. They don't think like us. We don't have lower heads. That lower head be on some different stuff. Like there is never, because your man will embarrass you if you think that he would not do something, and then you see that he did, and that girl will know all your business. I done heard so many girls talk about the wife. Oh, she not even fly. Girl, that ain't got nothing to do with it. Ain't got nothing to do with it at all. Oh, Kimmie. I thought Kimmie was smarter than that.
I'm just saying.
I thought Kimmie was smart. I didn't expect Kimmie to be the one to say something like that. I expected Kimmie to know that there is always the opportunity to take one for the team, or sometimes the girl that looks different than you is very understanding. And what he needs from her is understanding. And he gonna go cry to her about what you don't do. And she's listening with a soft space, a soft bosom, some food in the oven, and a willing heart.
What is just talented?
I mean, all that is talent, because I think with women, anytime a woman knows how to speak to a man's ego, that's talent.
That part. Great point.
All she got to do is make him feel safe. He'll spill all your business and be telling her what you don't do, and she don't even deserve you. Yeah, she don't have, it's not many good men like you, and he just lapping it up. And then you look at her in the daytime, be like, for real?
Ooh, y'all would be ashamed to be in a certain situation.
I've seen it.
Mind your business. Anybody talking to you?
I'm just co-signing. Do y'all really think that whoever Jay-Z was cheating with looked like Beyonce?
Did you? I ain't gonna say the so-called other baby mama, because she's passed. But I'm just saying, you just never know. You catch a guy on a bad night, things could happen.
It may not even be a bad night. It may be a weakness. And a lot of things that women don't understand is if he got the cute chick in you, he doesn't need that. He needs something else. He needs a soft place to land. Oh, I'm laughing because it's sad. It hurts. But yes, I didn't expect Kimmie to say that. I didn't expect Kimmie to be that ignorant. I did not. I really think that she's smart, and I expected more. That is not the defense for Maurice at all.
Experience, though, she would have to, like, you see what I'm saying?
She's experienced it. She's a grown-ass woman. At this point in life, we have all been hurt, and we have all went, because it's a woman's nature to be like, well, what's wrong with me? What? Look at the woman, and the woman don't look nothing like you, and you be thinking, well, why would he do this for her? It's something different, and you can never take it personal. You know what I mean? That's hard. That's easy to say. It's hard to think, but you could not take it personal, because these people are able to be like, well, she had great titties. Really, sir?
No, I was about to say some of y'all. I don't want some people to just jump out there and think y'all can just get. Hold on, we might not. Everybody gonna get it. This is off ones. This is not. Let's be clear.
What?
because I can already see what's happening. People gonna be like, I don't even want to say, but don't get too.
What he's trying to say is that just because men have bad nights does not mean that you're going to qualify for one of those nights. I know what you're saying. Antoinette said Kimmie is smart. She's going to stand by her man publicly. And that's exactly what she's doing. But she just needed a different defense, though. That wasn't the defense. That was not the defense.
It wasn't. You're right.
It wasn't it. Poor Tisha. I don't know.
Yeah.
What her defense. I mean, that's embarrassing. And I feel like what Martell did was in very poor taste. They're on a show together. It was in poor taste. And I feel like that woman, I don't trust her. I don't feel like she was trustworthy. I think she might have been willing to do something strange for some Instagram likes or something. So I don't necessarily, I'm not saying I believe her. I'm just saying you could never assume because of what a woman looks like that your man would not have entertained an evening with her.
Right. We're not either way with it. We're just like, you just gotta, like Crystal said, you can't assume, but at the same time, like, how do you mend that friendship or at least a level of cool that they were? Like, I can't be on set either. I ain't gonna lie. I couldn't be on set with him either.
On set with who?
With Martell, if he pulled a stunt like that. I'm like,
really? I don't know how they're gonna keep the show together then, because if they're not gonna be on set with him,
he just
gonna, I don't know.
That it's just
I like this picture of Kimmie and Maurice. I do. I like this picture. This is one of my favorite pictures of them. I like it. I like it a lot. Let's talk about, we went deeper into the what is his name? Jalen, Kimmie, and Maurice, and eventually Marsau and Tisha. Mo, what are your thoughts about that? Because I would assume as a man, and I've heard men say this, I've heard so many men, one of our friends said this, he said he would never date a woman that had a male child. It was crazy to me. That was, and I would think, and we learned that Jalen was around 13 when Maurice came into his life. So I would love to hear your perspective on Maurice's reasoning, because at first he gave us a reason that because Jalen was the oldest, that's why he treated him different. But then Marsau kind of held him to the fire, and he kind of backtracked and he apologized. So from your perspective of dating women that may have had a son, and also being a son yourself at one point, what do you think about that perspective of being a man that's dating a woman with a son that is becoming a young man?
It's tough because he's already, at that age, he's starting to be very protective of his mother, right? Especially if he's seeing any relationships in between. And then also you got to understand the dynamic between him and his biological father. And you got to tread lightly. You got to be careful. And sometimes you can tread so lightly that you overlook that he could want you to come in. I mean, there's fathers who really love their sons, but their uncles treat them a little bit better, and they feel closer to their uncle because their uncle doesn't have to be a father to them, and it could be cool. He wasn't looking for someone to be cool, but the guy doesn't know that. And you come into the relationship, male or female, you want to come in kind of being a little cool. You don't want to come in there just being stern and giving.
But it sounds like that's what he did. It sounded like he was not being cool. It sounded like Maurice was being hard on him.
It's fine. It's delicate until you know the character of the young person. You really don't know, because some kids will take it one way, some kids the other. It depends on how the mother, their relationship with their own father, and they already got a dad, because that's the first thing you think about as a man when they got a son, or it could be a child. You're not my daddy. So it's like, damn. I
gotta put Nola's comment. Sometimes the kids clock your BS.
That too.
Yeah.
The man,
Especially at 13.
if you see men come and go, you might be real protective, but like it, you really, it's tough. It's not easy. I feel for all of them in that situation. I mean, both of them in that situation, because I know we think it's easy. He should just come in there and lead, but sometimes you can push him away.
Yeah, I don't think it's easy at all. That's why I asked you, because I know how my son was at 13. And he was not, that would not have been easy, but I do think the right man with the right intentions could have, but then I also think it could be hard if you have your own son that's kind of close to that age, because that's difficult. I think, I've heard, I've never been in that situation with a blended family when children are young, but I do think it could be very difficult because you have built a relationship with your children that come from you, that look like you, that are yours. And then you marry somebody and you love them. But the reality is it takes time to get to grow love for that child, right? So I think the right thing to do is to be open and to have the intention of that. And I probably, me myself, but I'm a woman, I probably would go overboard trying to show love to the children or the child, because I wouldn't want them to feel like I didn't care about them, right? So I probably would have overcompensated, because you got to realize that boy is coming in, he's going to automatically feel some kind of way. But it, to me, just for me watching that interaction, I do appreciate Marsau holding him accountable and saying, no, you cannot say but. You have to take accountability for it. And he owes an apology, because Jalen did admit that he was afraid at first because he was afraid to get attached. That's what people don't understand. Kids get attached to people, and then when the person disappoints the parent, they also have hurt that child. So he was trying to protect himself. But I do think that for him to be able to articulate that Maurice did show favoritism to his own son, I think Maurice, I was glad Maurice finally apologized, but I feel like there had to be something to that.
Do you think that they got to be open at first for them to get attached? And that might take a minute. Imagine this. You're coming in, especially at that age, because that's when your mother really starts telling you, you're the man of the house now. And then all of a sudden that gets disrupted by another man. Now you've been demoted.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, he could feel a certain way. The young man, and he could be defensive on something. You went from the man of the house to now there's another man of the house telling you what to do. Because that's what your mother tells the young man when the father is going, you're the man of the house now. This is what you got to do. And then all of a sudden you've been replaced.
Yeah, I mean, that's a deep subject, because I remember I did not tell my son that, but he said that that's how he felt. I never wanted him to feel like he had to be the man of the house, because hell, I had to be the man of the house and I didn't like that position. It's not a fun thing to do. So I didn't want him to feel like that at 9, when I split from his father. However, I did see other women put that on their child, and then the child becomes they look to the child for everything. They get a man, and the child feels like he is demoted. I didn't tell my son that, but he did tell me that he felt like that. And I remember my kids only met one person I dated. And I remember the guy helped us move. And I remember my son trying to pick up, the guy was very strong. He was picking up stuff. And my son was trying to pick up stuff that he couldn't really pick up, because he wanted to prove that he was struggling, because he was just trying to show me that he could do it. You could tell he felt like he was in competition, with the guy. He was also very protective of me. And so I'm personally glad that I did not have to get into that situation, because I would have hoped if I did at 13, that's a very pivotal time for a young man or a young woman. 13 is just a crazy age.
Starts changing, and they say to boost their confidence. They're not trying to give them that real responsibility, but it's something you boost the young man's confidence, because that translates to him being a man, and how y'all say y'all want someone to be protected. So that's where it starts, being the man of the house. If there is no man, and your mother, and maybe you got a sister, that comes from, it's just boosting their confidence.
But I don't even think it's that, because I think with my son, we've had some really long, deep, really I think, healthy conversations about that. And I think he said he felt that way. He was able to assess the world and see that his mom and sister were alone and he needed to protect them. He felt like, he said there was an internal thing that switched on in him and he felt this burden. And I never tried to put that on him. But he said he felt that very much from an instinctive place. And I think a lot of men, a lot of boys do. So I remember seeing a show on Iyanla where a friend of mine, an associate of mine, was on the show, and she had told her son that he was the man of the house. She also had told him it was going to be her and him, the two of them together. They were like Kimmie and Jalen. And then when she found a man, the son felt displaced, right? And it was really the mom, because she had put him in this position where he was always her plus one. You know, you got your teenage son that's your little escort and all that, but it can be they can feel very displaced. But Jalen acknowledged that he was concerned about Maurice leaving and not sticking around. So I appreciate him being intelligent enough to say that.
Why do you think? Because that's for a young man to think, or a child to think that a person could come in and they might not stick around. The first thing that comes to my mind is, okay, maybe they've seen a pattern in it.
Or maybe they saw their mom get hurt. Because I know my son felt like that because he saw me get hurt one time. And I don't think boys like seeing their moms hurt. You know what I mean? So I think after that, they don't want someone else to come and hurt their mom.
Okay, that's fair. I didn't know if it was that or they seen a revolving door of guys coming.
That could be true. That also could be true. That could be true. But I know mine didn't see anybody, but he saw, I don't want her to be hurt again. And I think he automatically felt defensive with men that he didn't want to hurt his mom. You know what I mean? So he definitely didn't see a revolving door, but he still had that defense up, you know?
Gotcha.
Miss Carrie, babe, we have to post. I got to post the video. The problem is it has music on it. Let me see if I can pull it up here. Let me see. Because I don't want to get in trouble. But it has music and it got taken down because I had put it up and they took it down. Let me see if I can pull it up. But yeah, and it's not a bad video. It definitely just is a video of Kimmie and Trish enjoying themselves and engaging in what could appear to be
shame on the person that leaked that.
I don't know if it's shame or if it's just, you know, these ladies like to have a good time.
I seen people at office Christmas parties do way worse. It'll be all right. It's cool.
Yeah, they just it got removed. It got removed. I'm trying to see if I can find it.
Didn't shake anybody, nothing too crazy.
Yeah, they were just all up on each other, but it looked like if you had been a guy, you know, it could have been they were just being extremely friendly with one another. Trish, I thought, wanted to take her down. And I thought Kimmie was okay with it. But Kimmie has also said that she's had threesomes. She's okay with that, so it's not bad. Not bad at all. What did you think of Marsau basically holding Maurice accountable for that?
I mean, because he's the hero in the story. I mean, he should, but I don't really like stuff from him. Like, I don't know, man. That guy, it just something about him rubs me the wrong way. Pause. Like,
Marsau?
Yeah, I don't really care for him, man. It's just something. It's an air about him, and in that scenario, he's the hero. The guy hit your son. So I mean, what is he supposed to say? He's going to talk to. I mean, listen, man. It's like someone telling you, the aunt or or someone that you don't live with the kids every day. You get them for a couple hours and they come back home, and you telling me what to do. You're not around them all day, so it's kind of like, dog. I don't know. Maybe I don't know the situation with his kids and if he's perfect or whatever he was trying to say, what his brother needs to do. But I mean, he's right. You check him if there's something wrong, but I don't know, man. That guy just rubs me the wrong way.
I actually like Marsau, even though I know everybody thinks he's a smart ass, and he can be a smart ass. But I like accountability,
Does
and I like the fact that he held him accountable.
does he smile,
Who?
Marsau?
I don't really see him smile. I see him smirk.
Yeah, but it's a devilish smirk. I don't like that.
It is a devilish smirk. It is. It
Sneaky.
is. Not Trish is a man. Hilarious. But she was definitely up on. I thought she was gonna take Kimmie's goodies. You know, Tammy said they might have grown up with Maurice as the golden child. He said that. I definitely wondered. That was interesting, the dynamic between Maurice and Marsau, and they showed pictures of them when they were little. And it's interesting to think that Maurice would be the golden child. Maurice is definitely a smooth talker. He definitely knows how to make everything sound like he's innocent.
He's a lawyer.
Exactly. You know,
that makes sense.
It does. Outside of that, I felt like the dynamic between the brothers was really interesting, because if Maurice was the golden child and Marsau, that may be why he's a little sneaky and a little bit sarcastic, and to try to figure out how to justify that. Sibling rivalry can be serious.
Oh yeah.
Can be serious. And so I think when you are a sibling and you're, especially if they're not that far apart in age, you figure out where you fit, right? You figure out what your role is and then what works for you. And then you do that. And so I could see Marsau becoming kind of, persnickety, because he felt like maybe Maurice was always going to be the golden child, because Maurice has an answer for everything. Right. That is, by the book, paper, on paper, right? But I don't necessarily believe it. I do think that Kimmie is more in sync with Maurice than not. And I was surprised to see that she really, she agreed with Jalen and his issues. And I was wondering why she might not have checked Maurice on that while he was younger. That was a question for me.
Maybe she didn't run him away. It may, maybe she turned a blind eye to it for the fact that, if she was in the situation now and she's married again, she doesn't want to lose, it could be a number. That's the first thing that comes to mind to me.
Yeah, I can see that. I it's weird because they say, you're supposed to put your spouse before your children, but when you have children before you get married,
that's a little different.
It's a little hard, because you don't want your children to feel like you're selling them out for the new person. That's not right, And you also don't want I would never want to allow someone else to mistreat my child. And if there are two boys in the house and you're treating your son better than mine, I don't like that. I don't like that. So I'm surprised that she knew that and she was okay with that.
Yeah. Hey man, once they was locked in and exposed, like maybe she didn't want to rock the boat. But I was curious to know how she was with his son.
Well, you could tell, because she was very close to his son, because when she went through her breast cancer journey, she actually got really, really close to. We saw the two of them together, her and Monster, because Monster's in the house, Jalen is grown, and gone. So I think she was really close. I think it's easier for a woman. I'm not saying it's always the case, because there's definitely outliers to that. But I think sometimes it's easier for a woman to get close to a man's children than for a man to get close to a woman's children. I definitely see that. Now, I have a lot of guy friends that are great stepdads that do a great job of really being awesome stepfathers. But I just think it's more, women are mothers, and it's, especially if the child is young enough.
That makes sense. It's nurturing.
Yeah. Now, when it comes to teenagers, I don't think any teenagers are easy to get used to. Either easy to get close to on either side, men or women.
But as a man dealing with daughters, like if someone that guard is a lot easier than the boys. The boys is
Well, let me tell you who the guard is not down with. The women. So a dad and his daughters, they are just as mean and spiteful to a mom, a woman, as the boys are tough and reserved with their mom. Girls are protective of their fathers and boys are protective of their moms. So I definitely think that, now I think my kids were good, but my son was definitely not going to be easy. My daughter's a lot easier. She's just a love ball and loves, my son is not, he is not playing no games. I think he's threatened a few people. Like he ain't that easy to win over. You know what I mean? And so, but my daughter definitely is, so, but neither one of them are disrespectful, but they just are not, he's not going to be an easy nut to crack. Yeah. I am interested to know, I am interested to delve into the dynamic that is Nell and Chris, because I also noticed that Tisha said that there were some rumors, there were some words in the street about our good friend Chris Fletcher. And to your point, that he might have been out, enjoying himself, tasting the flavors that are out there. And I want to know what these rumors are, because Tisha said she wasn't going to bring it up. But Chris is there just as sly as a fox. And the crazy thing is, I think Nell knows everything and is just okay with it.
What else she gonna do, Chris? I don't know.
First of all, she is an adorable adorable woman, and she could get another man. Come on, Miss Nell is cute.
I tried to. Hey, she's
old. Just not your type, okay? She's just say she's not your cup of tea. Just say she's not your cup of tea. But there are other men that would be all up on that meatball. You hear me?
He is Folgers coffee at best.
I don't agree. I vehemently disagree.
She seems like a sweet woman. I'm not saying that part.
I don't think she seems like a sweet woman at all. I think
she's nice, nasty. She say a little stuff.
Yeah, she could be nice, nasty, but not sweet. But I think she's cute. Like, what are you having such a hard time with?
I don't see it. I'm sorry. That's just it.
She is adorable.
Old lady adorable.
I mean, there before the grace of God, Mo. She's 60. That's 6 years from you, my friend.
I can't see it.
She's not that old. She's sweet. I like her.
It's the voice too. Can't do it.
Well, she has a squeaky little voice.
Yeah, I don't like it.
But in any case, Chris is out here in these Huntsville streets.
He is. I shouldn't say that. I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised. Let's just say.
If you had to bet money on it.
Oh, I would. I got 100 on it. But he's slick enough. Whoever they are, they 2 towns over.
And I think they're probably in check. I think none of the men are as dense, dull, or dumb as Martell. Because Martell had a mistress that was in Huntsville that everybody knew. And we do need to get to the bottom of this nursing degree. Because Martell insists that he's paying for her, putting her through nursing school. And we've heard that she's been a nurse.
Well, maybe
surely she's not still in nursing school from the beginning.
But what it's all y'all know it's different levels, right?
Yes.
So maybe he means she's going to be an actual RN now. Maybe she's something else. You see what I'm saying?
There's like LPN, there's RN, there's PRN.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So maybe he just meant this other level. That's all.
I hope so. Because it just seems like she's been working on that for quite some time. Of course, she's been distracted with Martell. Yeah. So let me ask you guys this. Renee agrees with you. She said, "Girl, where she better stick with Chris." No, I think that.
Hello.
I think that Miss Nell has options. Don't y'all do Miss Nell like that. Miss Nell has options. Chris better stick with her. Okay.
Off them options or lower and low. Listen, man, God bless her. She'll be all right.
She is. I'm telling you, there is a there is a country fella there that is just hoping Chris makes a mistake.
Now, see this. What you keep taking it too far. Now, she was just say she's all right. Just don't no more.
Nola said Mo would give her a ride.
I'm not even going to address that. Come on.
Now, would you, if you saw her in a club and she was giving you the eye?
We would never be in the same vein. What are you?
That's not true. That's not true. Don't you do that. Don't you do that. Now, if you were down at the, what's the club that you, well, I won't say what club you were down at a club, she might be in there. Don't you do that to her.
Unless I'm at the bingo hall, we had never meet.
I'm saying that. She is not that old. The bingo hall.
Or the Regal Beagle, what was that Three's Company?
She may be at the studio stage, whatever. She may be there. Miss Nell may be out.
I won't be there. Those
with her girls.
She could be wherever. I won't be there.
I don't like how you're doing Miss Nell. I don't like it.
God bless her. She'll be all right.
I think she's cute. Tammy says, Mo, you've done worse. And have. I'm just saying.
It's a one-off. I didn't go looking for it. I don't.
that may be fair. I'll split the difference with you. You might not have went to look. You might not have went looking for it. But you know what? What I dislike, and there's nothing we can do about it because it's just true, is that women have far less value the older they get than men. You know what I mean? In the dating world. Now, what we have to know, our sisters, is that we have value regardless of what these men think. We cannot let a man put value on us. And if he does not value you, keep it moving, because your value is not dictated by what a man thinks. However, that is the case. It is definitely a lot harder for a woman to find a husband than an older man. These women are marrying old men to get pensions and stuff like that all day, every day. Men don't tend to do it quite the same. So, but I think she would be fine because she's an attractive woman. And there's always a man that needs a meal, a hot meal.
That's the thing. If you got to trade,
a hot meal,
huh?
A hot meal.
Oh yeah, that makes up for a lot of. I'm just saying.
She better stick it out at this point. I don't know if Chris is out there wheeling and dealing with that. Can you imagine what Chris's pillows look like?
Let me tell you something. Anytime a man put dippity doo in his hair, he out there getting.
He's out there dipping and doing. He is out there dipping and doing. Yes, I think that Chris is out there in those Huntsville streets. Nell doesn't care. I think she just is happy to have her daycare and her their real estate company and that's Blondie says, a young 55-year-old, I don't find that many older guys attractive. You either? It's rough. That's why I feel like older as people, we have to start looking for other things because it's just not gonna be. If we're young, we can look for looks, but the older we get, we just got to start looking at other stuff. We just got to start looking at stability, character. Is he on blood pressure pills? Has he taken care of himself? Because if he's on blood pressure pills, and that's a whole nother thing. But yeah, I just think seriously, Blondie, I feel like I feel like the older we get, we just cannot be focused on looks in our partner. We have to know that we have to find character. And I feel like a man that you can respect is very attractive. Anytime you can really respect him and you like the person that he carries himself with integrity, that is very attractive. I think for me, I remember watching Sidney Poitier, and I was listening to Sidney Poitier talk to Oprah. And I remember thinking, like, that man is, now I don't know Sidney Poitier. I never met him, But I just feel like if a man has integrity and, and other people respect him, like that's very attractive. I remember going to this event and seeing this woman stand up and talk about her husband, and everybody stood up because he was such a great man. I was like, that's the kind of man that you want to stand behind. Like a man who really is a good man. Now it would have been good if we had found him in our early 30s and he had looked like bleak. And the fact that that's not the case, it's okay, because we want to be with a man that has integrity.
Hey, sometimes a good man might come with a issue.
Like a Walker?
You have to ask yourself, there's a lot of great men that had other issues, but they were still considered great men.
Like what other issues?
Cheating. How about the great?
Well, I think that kind of makes you not a great man.
Well, but maybe not in the marriage, but it's still a great man.
Well, but we're not just talking about a great man to be friends with.
Do you think the great Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was a great man?
I knew you were going to go to him. We know what Martin was doing. Okay. We know that. But I think I heard something and somebody told me this, and I started looking around at some of the situations around me. If a person will cheat and treat bad the person that they are married to, they probably cannot be trusted with anything. Like if you don't respect that, how you are, you can't be how you are. You show up in every area of your life like that.
Killer Mike said this thing that he stole from this white man. We giving him credit. I don't know if y'all know this, but I've seen a white guy say this. I know he stole it from. But in any case, he said, was it Killer Mike? No, it was David Banner.
Now you just accused Killer Mike of stealing, so you apologize to Killer Mike.
Not to Killer Mike, pardon me. David Banner. And he said, and I know where he got it from, but I saw all the media giving him praise. I'm like, y'all know he stole that, right?
I saw David Banner say it, yeah.
But I saw a white guy say it a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
And he was a fitness guy. And he doesn't train, he doesn't do business, and he has a bunch of gyms across the country. A man's man, he was like, listen, man, I don't do business with any man that cheats on his wife.
I saw that. Yeah.
That thing Killer Mike said, pardon me, when I seen David Banner, and that's why I say dudes be knowing what to say. Because he said it, the way he said it was just like that, and it was too spot on for me to know that he said it.
Yeah, and I was on the David Banner video of Bake It Sweat, and I don't know that he felt like that back then. But Tammy said Jesse Jackson was a hoe when he went to NCAA.
He was.
I don't know if it stopped then, Tammy.
Oh, he was a legendary.
I know.
He was legendary.
He has a whole baby. But anyway, hey, I think every woman has to decide what she can handle and what she can't. There are some women that don't care about a man sneaking out as long as he pays the bills. There are other women that, it just depends on what you want. But I do think at 50 plus, at 45 plus, almost at 40 plus, we have to know that people are not going to, we're past our physical prime being the catch, and it has to be on character, right? Because none of us look like we did when we were in college or that beyond. So I think we have to give the same amount of grace to others as we have to give to ourselves. But child, Jesse Jackson been in these streets. I don't want STDs to go to jail either. So I know that that's not for me. But I also know that there's not, you only know what you know, right? So if you don't know, and it's hard to love and constantly be thinking like, oh my God, what are they doing? So I think until a person gives you a reason to not trust them, you have to give them the benefit of the doubt. But once you know, if that's not what you want, then you remove yourself from the situation.
That part. Somebody said, could David Banner feel the same way? Yeah, but just say where you got that from. That's all you could.
David was in that white sweater. He was trying to come off as the sophisticated David Banner now. He's not the same David Banner that twisted that was right. From Mississippi. He's evolved.
I'm just saying, be like, I heard someone say, I heard it once said or something like that. But the
Yeah.
way he took credit, I know he was saying it from perspective.
He was trying to go viral, and he did. He did. He's a Q for a reason. Tammy, Lord Jesus, I wish. Yeah, that's always a sign, and no one told me that was a sign. But in any case, let's rate tonight's episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville. I just feel like they're struggling because we can't see Martell with anyone else. I appreciate the conversation with Maurice and Jalen, but I also think they're struggling for like finding storylines. And Tisha and Marsau, I don't want to keep seeing Trish and Ken because they kind of forced them on us, and I still haven't 100%. I don't really see them as viable cast yet. I just think that they're struggling they've lost their principal characters. And I think that we're struggling. That's just my opinion. I think losing Melody and the most part of Martell has us struggling with these storylines about Maurice not being a good stepdad. And, I don't really care if Chris Fletcher's in the streets messing up people's pillows. I don't care about that. I also don't care about his son having babies. I just don't like it. I bring in some principal people or make these people, boss up to be principal, but this ain't it. And either bring Ariane in and make her try to be Martell's chick and sit everybody down, or let them go, because this won't work. I don't like it. I'm gonna give it a 6.5.
Ooh, I thought you was gonna give it lower than that. I was about to say 5.5. Ooh.
Okay, well let's split the difference to 6.
And for the reasons that you said, I think they're slow rolling us and then trying to drag it out, then cut this off mid-season, pick back up a later day. But they're actually losing people in this.
I see the comments. People really don't want to watch the show. People don't even like that we're reviewing it sometimes. They're over it. I don't know what Carlos is going to do. I know Carlos has been known to pull one out of his hat, but I do think he needs some help, because with Melly gone and Martell on the back burner and not really able to be involved. And I think it would have been different if there had been a better transition. Losing Sonny and Moses, even though I did not want them to come back, but that was a big part of the storyline last season. And then we just lost them. You throw us back in here with Ken and Trish, and I don't see them as principal characters. You know what I mean? I don't want to keep seeing Ken on that sofa. I don't want to keep seeing it. You know what I mean? I think that, or bring his friend in. His friend seems to have more. Who is he married to? Come on with it. Something we need. I don't think Sonny should have stayed, because that was the dumbest storyline ever. The dumbest move in life ever, to go be with a jailbird and then to be trying to stick beside him and he back in jail. Like, no, girl, we're not doing that. But we are reviewing Heart and Hustle. I review Heart and Hustle on Sundays. And so I definitely will be talking about that. We forgot about Somebody's Son, and it's too late now. We can't go back and do it. Love and Marriage Huntsville needs to step up. What'd you say?
I said it got Somebody's Son. It got away from us.
Yeah, it just wasn't fun. Plus, Ready to Love came back, and Love and Marriage Huntsville, and we wanted to see. I think they should have done a better job of really capturing the breakdown that happened when Martell and Ariane did that YouTube video. They really needed to show us Marsau, Maurice, Tisha, and Kimmie having conversations about that. The fact that they tried to leave that out is not lost on us. It just does not. It's not good.
That and showing how Ken and Trish got back together.
Yeah. It's not good. Tammy says Mel has produced and is shopping a new show. I also don't know if I'm interested in that, but Godspeed to her. I don't know. I would say this: if Melody is healed and in a better place, But if she's resentful and bitter and trying to get back at them, because like how she was the last 2 seasons, I don't want to see that. Now, if she's in a better place and she's happy and she has real situations, maybe, I don't know, but I just think I don't want to see her trying to be the better than now of everybody. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see it. I really think it will be, as much as I do think that they have to do this now, I do think it will be a real sad day in urban family reality for a mistress to supersede the wife and to come on as a full. That will be really sad.
It'll be in poor taste. It would.
It will. Even though I feel like we don't have a choice, it ain't right, man. It ain't right. That's because you guys, I know I'm old fashioned, but that was a family with 4 children. Yes, Martell is the problem, but it's almost like rewarding bad behavior. And I also feel like if you are with a man while he is married and you are going back and forth with his wife, there's no way that you are qualified to be a wife. I don't think. Now, who am I? I am not the judge and jury. But if I'm sleeping with somebody while they're married and trying to take them from their wife, and the wife finally wakes up and kicks them to the curb, and then he promotes me to the position of wife, that marriage is not going to work.
It's doomed. It's doomed. It is doomed.
It is doomed. It is doomed. Like you can't do things the wrong way and expect to get, expect to be blessed. God is not going to be in that union. It was just started the wrong way. And that's unfortunate for the little boy Maverick, because he deserves to have his mom and his dad. But that's on Martell. Noah said Melody exits stage left. Time for a new storyline. And I don't think it was wrong of her to leave. I'm just saying I don't think that the way the show was set up could support her leaving without there being a huge gap, and we're feeling that. I don't feel like the other people were as important to the show as Melody. I hate to say that, but I do think that she was a leader. And as crazy as Martell is, he's more important to the show. I think people want to see Martell more than they want to see Marsau.
They do.
I mean, it's just what it is. I think that it went Martell, Marsau, Maurice. Now you have Maurice and Marsau trying to split and be it's not the same type of charisma.
They're trying to.
It's not the charisma that Martell has, even though he's annoying and he may not be as bright, but he still has more charisma on screen than the two of them do.
There you go.
So we're going to split the difference. I said 6. Mo said 5.5. We're going to see what happens. Next week, there's an actual conversation with Martell and his mom. And I really want to talk about that conversation. I think that's going to give us some good content to go back and forth with. Trust me, it's going to be an interesting conversation. And also, of course, we have Trisha's birthday party. Did you know that Trisha was only 38?
I can see that.
Okay.
I can see that. I ain't gonna lie. I can see that. It's the muscular stuff that makes her look a little older. She doesn't look as soft. That's why. Yeah, I can see that.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll be back with these people. Marcel. That picture is so funny because you were like, does he smile?
I can't.
Oh my goodness. Miss Nell and Chris. All right, y'all. We'll be back Wednesday. Yep. Remember, if you did not hear earlier tonight, Wednesday, we have a special guest coming on with her book, Black Women Need Love Too. We're going to kind of dissect from a historical and educational perspective why so many Black women find it hard to submit and to be led. What are things in our genetics and our that's been passed down generations that causes there to be this disconnect between Black men and Black women? And I think it's going to be a really good informational show for those of you that have issues with that. Sometime we come up in conversation about that. I think it's going to be a really enlightening show. S&M will be here. The author will be here with us. She's also, she is to Nick, who was here with us on Wednesday. They are on a podcast together, just like mine. So, yeah, it's going to be a really good show. Make sure that you tune in for that. I will be back with Heart and Hustle on Sunday, and also on Monday night, I will be talking about King's Court. Tyson Beckford is 54, does not look 54, but has the actions of a 24-year-old. And so there's always lots to talk about with that. Make sure that you check Mo out on the Run That Back podcast about music. And actually, Mo, I got some stuff for you. I'll call you about tomorrow that we're going to do release. We can share some clips with you guys for that. But yeah, good stuff coming. You guys have a great weekend. Please have a great weekend. Take some time to love on yourself. Take some time to love on those close to you. And be right back here with us, of course, next week. All right. We love you guys for watching. 6 is tonight's rating for Love and Marriage Huntsville. See you guys next time.
Safe, y'all.